Uh, Sorry, guys, there's a bit of technical glitch. Right. So, Ibrahim, as you were saying earlier, I was actually getting very excited hearing that because, in the recently announced Malaysia Digital Economy Blueprint, or My Digital, this economy is expected to make up 22.6% of our nation's GDP and potentially create 500,000 jobs by 2025. And what we are here today is actually part of building the blocks to achieve these goals.
That's true, Mel. In Iskandar Putri, our signature DRZ Iskandar initiative is designed to achieve that goal. And we would not have been able to envision this to reality without our partners and collaborators. The likes of Magic, MDEC, MTDC, Futurize, and our very own DHL team, and colleagues that have been with us since 2018. It is through the DHL Asia Pacific Innovation Global Center of Excellence, DCOE, network and trend radar, which provided the seed of innovation that has ignited all initiatives that you have seen today. We are proud to announce that our next speaker will be none other than DHL's representative, Mr. Lau Tian Chen, or affectionately known as TC. He is the head and vice president of business development for DHL Asia Pacific Innovation Center, better known as APIC. He is responsible for the development of the DHL APIC GCOE in Iskandar, Malaysia, and the Drone and Robotic Zone DRZ Iskandar initiative. TC is a veteran in the logistic industry with over 20 years of tenure with DHL Express and DHL Global Forwarding at the country and global levels. He will be accompanied by Ellie Neal, the Innovation Engagement Manager of DHL Asia Pacific Innovation Center, Singapore. Over to you, TC and Ellie.
Dear Datuk Khairil and honoured guests, Selamat Sejahtera. My name is TC Lau and I'm delighted to represent DHL Asia Pacific Innovation Center to kick off this tour. DHL is extremely honoured to be able to participate in this exciting event in support of the digital economy of Johor. DHL has been a proud partner of Iskandar Investment Berhad. Over the past 2 years, we have been able to collaborate and roll out multiple strategic and catalytic initiatives. One example is the development and launch of Iskandar Drone and Robotics Zone, or DRZ. DRZ aspires to be a commercially driven ecosystem for the development of drones, robotics, autonomous vehicles, and other advanced automation in Asia. Now, DRZ serves as a multiplier for DHL Innovation Center to link up and collaborate with companies in DRZ. It also enables us to jointly develop new service offerings for our customers globally. This year, we launched the DHL Applied Analytics Hub at Medini. This is a forward-looking collaboration with IIB and UTM, University Technology Malaysia. It is a commercial setup to attract and nurture future talents in the important area of data analytics, as well as to roll out commercial solutions for the region. We look forward to launching more new initiatives together with IIB. In the next 25 minutes, my colleagues will give you a virtual tour of our Asia Pacific Innovation Center in Singapore. The center is a place where our customers come and discover the latest trends and solutions in logistics. It's also a place where we can work together to develop new solutions via workshops and POCs. Without further ado, let me introduce you to Ellie, who will be your host for the next session. Ellie, over to you.
Hello and welcome to the Asia Pacific Innovation Centre. My name is Ali and I'm one of the Customer Engagement Managers here at the DHL Innovation Centre, and I'm also going to be your host for today. So we are based here in Singapore, but we're one of 4 innovation centres strategically located globally. We have Troisdorf, Germany, which is our flagship innovation centre. That one actually opened in 2007, so we have been innovating for a while. We opened in 2015. In 2019, we established the Americas Innovation Center, and that's based in Chicago. And just a few weeks ago, actually, we established the Middle East and Africa Innovation Center, and that is currently located in Dubai. So before I get stuck into the content, I will just show you a little bit around our Innovation Centre here. So behind me, you can see the Living Responsibility section. So this is where we are dedicated to our sustainability efforts. And we've got initiatives like the cargo bike that you see here, which is obviously powered by humans, not by petrol. And it really helps with the last mile delivery. To my left over here, we have our partner wall. So this centre does have a lot of fascinating technology gadgets, but we don't consider ourselves an innovation museum. We are a living, breathing team that is dedicated to solving customer problems. And we don't do this in a silo either. We work specifically with partners and with our customers to make sure that these solutions can come to life. Over here, we have our behaviours that we live by within the Innovation Centre, and they are discovering, inspiring, connecting, and creating. So what do I mean by that? So discovering, this is really where we do a lot of our trend research, and I'll take you through our logistics trend radar in a minute, which is essentially our North Star for identifying which trends and which technologies our team should be focusing on. Then we have inspiring. So this is where we bring delegates like yourselves into the centre to touch and feel and explore different technologies and different solutions that we're personally exploring ourselves. If you find an interest in particular solutions, then we can move on to connecting. So this is where we can connect you with our resident experts on topics like IoT, big data analytics, robotics and automation. And then finally, if you're interested in any of our technologies and seeing how they could work within your own business, this is where the magic happens. So this is where we create a range of POCs and pilots that are essentially joint ventures between our customers and involving our partners as well. To my left here, you will see a giant stage. Pre-COVID times, we used to hold a lot of large-scale events here. But unfortunately, we're close to the public at the moment, but we're hoping 2022 is going to be our year and we can invite you back in again. I'm now going to walk you over to our trend research section. Okay, so this is how a lot of our innovation trend research works. So innovation is very much part of the DNA here at DHL. And I'm going to show you really quickly, this is what we call our S-curve chart. So it all started with globalization when ships and planes and trains and trucks broke down borders between countries and made it a lot easier to ship goods from point A to point B. Then with the invention of the internet came e-commerce, and as we all know, there's been a big spike in e-commerce activity ever since COVID hit. And then finally, digitalization. So this is the S-curve that we believe we're currently in right now. And this is essentially taking all of those new technologies that have been invented in the last 10 years, and instead of them operating in silos, making them converge together to work simultaneously. And I will be able to show you an exhibit in a few short minutes that really showcases that convergence of different technologies working together to automate something that would traditionally be quite manual, arduous, and essentially quite inefficient as well. Oh, and I should mention as well, before I forget, sustainability. So this is no surprise. I'm sure your business is exploring a lot of sustainability initiatives as well, and it's very much a focus area for us. So in addition to our 2050 goal of being a zero emissions company, we also have released in April our 2030 sustainability roadmap. And as part of that, we're going to invest 7 billion euros into 5 key science-backed targets initiatives. And that includes things like aviation and marine fuels that are more sustainable, electrifying our fleet, so 60% of our fleet being electric vehicles, creating carbon neutral buildings, and also ensuring that our core products have a green offering. So when we think about the logistics landscape, we're not just talking about the big players like DHL, we're also talking about the close to 3,000 startups that are active today. As you can see, a lot has been invested in this space since 2012, 30 billion to be exact. And we see these startups not just as competitors, but also potential collaborators as well. So these startups are not end-to-end, all-encompassing companies. They tend to specialize in specific areas like warehousing, last-mile delivery, and even solutions like IoT for the logistics space. So how do we identify trends? So we like to be close to our customers, close to operations, and close to technology. So by being close to customers, we have our centers here that allow you not only to see what we're doing, but it also really helps us understand your specific pain points. Because while it's all fun and games playing with shiny gadgets and new technologies, they sort of are pointless unless they're solving a real world business challenge. And that's where you come in. Close to operations. So when we do decide to do a POC and trial out different technologies, we do involve our various business units within DHL, and we generally have around 1,000 employees on an annual basis working on up to around 100 projects per year. And then close to technology. This is where, as you saw in the previous slide, there are 3,000 startups active today. We generally engage with around 100 of them, and this is for collaborative potential technology opportunities. And then we also track thousands more. And the research that we put into these startups actually forms part of our logistics trend radar. So this is what we call a living dynamic tool, and it's currently in its 5th edition. And I'll just show you, so I'm going to play you a quick video to explain a little bit more, but I'll show you how to read it very quickly. So you see here our high impact line. So any of the trends that are closest to this high impact line, they're the ones that we see will have the biggest impact on the logistics industry. And then here we've got our time horizon as well. Anything within this inner rim we believe is relevant today and in the next 5 years. And then on the outer rim, we still see it having a relevance to the industry, but not so much in the near term. So more in the next 5 to 10 years. You'll also see that we have 2 types of trends here. So we've got social and business trends, which I like to consider the behaviors driving change within the industry. And then here on the right-hand side, you've got technology trends, and they are what I consider the enablers. So being a dynamic living tool, we do see a lot of change when it comes to our trends. So this current edition has 29 trends, and you can see that there's been a bit of movement. So all of the trends that are in red, these are what we consider new trends, and all the trends that are here in green, they've either been renamed or potentially even merged. So with the example of augmented and virtual reality, they were 2 separate trends. They're now grouped together. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you our trend research value chain. So the trend radar is really what starts everything off. We see what are the trends that we think are most relevant to our industry, and then we drill down on those particular trends. Then we can create things like trend reports. So trends that we believe our customers are most interested in, we start doing really comprehensive research, and we have around 2 reports published every single year. Next, if something really takes our fancy and we see it solving a genuine business problem, this is where we will exhibit it within the centre, and we have a simulated environment for it. So I'm going to show you an exhibit in a second that does just that. And then if a customer is interested in exploring that technology in their own environment, then we work on a proof of concept. And should that be a success, that's when we will scale it. So with a lot of our customers, they'll start with a particular region, then they'll grow they'll extend it to other regions. And then for us, we can start with really bespoke, customized solutions, especially in the space of big data analytics. And over time, when it shows its success and the model is matured, then we can start creating more off-the-shelf solutions for our customers. All right, so I'm going to play you a really quick video, and this explains a little bit more about our logistics trend radar, and specifically the trends that we consider having the highest impact on the logistics industry in the next 5 years.
And today, I'd like to share with you the high impact trends coming from our 5th edition of the DHL Logistics Trend Radar, also known as the LTR. Over the last 2 decades, advancing technologies, new business models, and dramatic shifts in customer behavior have reshaped logistics as well as most other industries. Trends on the LTR are plotted on a spectrum from low to high impact. Trends with low impact involve evolutionary changes with incremental improvements. Meanwhile, trends with high impact have revolutionary applications that are potentially disruptive. For our discussion today, we will investigate the trends that will be both high impact and relevant in the next few years. We categorize these topics into social and business trends and technology trends. Let's start with the social and business trends. These are shifts in behavior that are shaping new demands within the logistics industry. The first trend we'll be looking at is omni-channel logistics. The next generation of omni-channel retail, including web rooming, showrooming, and no-line commerce concepts, require logistics networks to not just be present, but also proficient in tailoring to the needs of customers in all channels. Dynamic delivery, fulfillment, and return options necessitate seamless technological integration, data sharing, and collaboration among manufacturers, retailers, and logistics providers. The second trend is future of work. Automation, an aging population, the rise of the millennial workforce, and the global pandemic are greatly transforming work in the logistics industry. To future-proof our businesses, we need to work collaboratively with robots, adopt flexible work systems, embrace continuous learning, and encourage upskilling. This will help us stay competitive, plus attract and retain the workforce of the future. The next trend is logistics marketplaces. Logistics marketplaces aggregate shipper demand and carrier supply across increasingly complex supply chain networks. Providers of these digital brokerage services offer a centralized marketplace to manage not only delivery rates and schedules, but also additional services such as shipment visibility and customs document management. This provides customers with an enhanced and tailored digital experience. Finally, let's look at sustainable logistics. Ecological imbalances and growing demand from customers and governments for sustainable solutions have cultivated an urgent need for environment-friendly practices in supply chain. This spans from raw material extraction to managing product end of life. Together with optimized processes, zero emissions mobility, and carbon offset solutions for facilities, this momentum will help the logistics industry go green. Now let's have a look at the technology trends. The first trend is big data analytics. Logistics is being transformed through the power of data-driven insights. Thanks to the vast degree of digital transformation and IoT data, unprecedented amounts of data can be captured from various supply chain sources. Capitalizing on its value offers massive potential to increase operational efficiency, improve customer experience, reduce risk, and create new business models. The second trend is cloud and application programming interfaces, also known as APIs. As cloud-based service applications for the logistics sector continue to disrupt traditional supply chain management, APIs form the basis of on-demand logistics services and real-time data processing. This allows carriers and third-party logistics providers to integrate and scale software services using centralized cloud-based platforms, thereby reducing and replacing existing electronic data interchange solutions. The next trend is Internet of Things, also known as IoT. IoT has the potential to connect virtually anything to anything and accelerate data-driven logistics. Everyday objects can now send, receive, process, and even store information, and actively participate in self-steering, event-driven logistics processes. IoT promises far-reaching payoffs for logistics providers, generating actionable insights that drive change and new solutions. The next trend is robotics and automation. The first wave of automation using intelligent robotics has arrived in the logistics industry. Driven by rapid technological advancements and greater affordability, robotic solutions are entering the logistics workforce, supporting zero-defect processes and boosting productivity. Whether mobile or stationary, robots will adopt more roles in the supply chain by assisting workers with warehousing, transportation, and even last-mile delivery activities. And last but certainly not least is artificial intelligence, or also AI for short. AI is finding strong adoption within logistics thanks to the parallel progress of machine learning, computing power, big data analytics, and acceptance by industry leaders. AI stands to improve supply chain efficiency with its prediction and vision recognition capabilities, and by driving intelligent workflow automation and delivering new customer experiences. An interesting insight that comes from this review is that digitization and data tie most of the high-impact trends together. Omnichannel logistics necessitates seamless technological integration, data sharing, and collaboration among manufacturers, retailers, and logistics providers. Cloud and APIs allow carriers and third-party logistics providers to integrate and scale software services together. IoT is accelerating data-driven logistics by creating the big data sources necessary to produce new insights and efficiencies. Logistics marketplaces are providing data-driven digital brokerage services. And both robotics and automation, as well as AI, all rely on big data to analyze, learn, evaluate, train, and perform tasks to improve supply chain efficiency. In summary, I would like to emphasize that this data-driven world has the potential to deliver revolutionary applications, and our Asia-Pacific Innovation Center team of innovation managers and data scientists are here to support you and help prepare your business for the future.
Okay, great. So now I'm going to show you that convergence of different technologies working in a simulated environment, and that is with our exhibit over here. This is what we're calling the Warehouse of the Future, and it is our latest exhibit in the center. So we're very excited to show you this today. So what you see here is a mobile bin picking machine, and you also see a robotic arm. So I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with seeing at least one of these robots, and it doesn't seem that new. But the unique thing about this is generally with these robots, you'd be working in tandem with a human worker. But for today, this Warehouse of the Future exhibit shows how robots can work together and using different technologies to optimize a process end to end without any human interaction. So you've obviously got these two robots representing robotics. You have IoT connecting all of them together. You've got computer vision AI seeing what the robot needs to pick up. And then behind me, you have this dashboard, and that is the big data analytics. So in a warehouse environment, you can use all of these technologies together to not just complete a task end to end, but also you can optimize it over time. So you can decide that the most popular products can be closest to the packing station, the less popular products can be towards the back. So I'm not going to go into too much more detail, but I'm going to hand over to Chuan, who is our lead innovation manager, who's going to explain a little bit more.
Hello everyone, my name is Chuan and I would like to welcome you to the DHL Asia Pacific Innovation Center. In this demo, I will be showcasing to you one of our latest exhibits at the center. If you are familiar with logistics, you would know that logistics has traditionally been a very manual industry up till today. And this includes activities such as the moving and handling of products to even data entry. With the rise of the millennial workforce and subsequent younger generations, the future of work will likely look very different. Younger generations are typically less keen on blue-collar work and they prefer to value add in other ways. And as the older generations retire, the logistics industry will experience an increasing shortage of manpower. And this is what we are already seeing today. As a result, repetitive, mundane, and low-value work will need to be progressively automated. The logistics industry has also been focused on the topic of supply chain resilience ever since COVID hit. With local lockdowns and government restrictions resulting in a big impact to manpower, most operations had to explore new ways of working to fulfill their service level agreements with their customers. Furthermore, COVID has driven the growth of e-commerce, which has continued to put stress on supply chains. I would like to showcase a system that we believe could be one of the solutions in tackling these problems in the future. To set the scene, imagine you are managing a warehouse operation. Your operational profile is primarily focused on piece picking and packing. What you would traditionally expect to see in your operations is a lot of people moving around the warehouse. Some are putting away inbound inventory to the allocated inventory locations, some are picking items from the shelves, and others are packing the final orders. Imagine right now is when COVID is just about to hit the world. What will happen to your operations? You probably will not be able to sleep for quite a while. And so in this demo, I will explain how Industry 4.0 or the convergence of different technologies can increase your operational efficiency and resilience. Some of these technologies include robotics and automation, Internet of Things, big data analytics, and artificial intelligence. Please allow me to introduce you to the objects that you see behind me. We have two robots that operate as the system's arms and legs. We have a Gig Plus mobile bin picking robot acting as the legs of the system, and we have a Yaskawa robotic arm acting as the arms of the system. Both robots work in collaboration to execute an end-to-end picking and packing operation. We also have a monitor just beside the robotic arm, and this shows you what the robot arm actually sees, and this is what we call computer vision AI. We also have a dashboard by Gig Plus on the larger screen, and this is powered by big data analytics. So I will now place an order in the system, and you will be able to see the entire system work in harmony to fulfill my order. With the order placed, the mobile robot will deliver bins between the inventory location and the packing station. Once the required bin is delivered to the packing station, the robotic arm will pick the necessary items out of the bin and place them into the packing bin. These two robots are managed by Osaro's Robot Management System, or RMS for short. Osaro's RMS is then integrated with the Operations Warehouse Management System, or WMS. Orders are pushed out from the WMS to the RMS, and the orders are then broken down into subsequent instructions for the bin picking robot as well as for the robotic arm. Acting as the arms and legs of automated systems, robots will continue to relieve people of manual, repetitive, and low-value tasks in future. In this specific demo, you will also notice that the items in the bins are of different shapes and sizes and even orientation. The packaging also differs from soft plastics to rigid round surfaces. The robot arm can execute random order picking due to the use of vision cameras mounted overhead. Random order picking involves the picking of items in random orientation and order, and this is actually very difficult for traditional robots. For robots to execute such a task, they need a set of eyes just like people do. You can see what the robotic arm is seeing as you pull up these four screens. The computer vision module will identify the orientation of the items, and the AI module will provide the robotic arm with instructions to pick the specific items. Computer vision AI will allow automation solutions to execute more complex and unstructured tasks that require vision. To provide real-time data on the performance of the system, the sensors in the robots are constantly feeding the RMS with data via a local network. The data from all the IoT sensors is consumed and processed, and a dashboard is provided as an output. Operations supervisors can monitor the dashboard directly to determine if the system and its individual parts are performing as required. This includes meeting KPIs such as throughput and picking accuracy. The biggest advantage of big data analytics is in its ability to consume and process extremely large quantities of data that is not humanly possible to do in real time. However, as Industry 4.0 progresses, we expect to see more and more solutions being integrated to form larger solutions in warehouses. The convergence of technology with Industry 4.0 will bring about benefits such as greater levels of synergy and efficiency, less reliance on manpower, higher picking accuracy due to the elimination of human error, the ability to operate longer hours, even up to 24 hours a day, ability to scale according to demand by adding or subtracting robots when needed, especially with robots as a service as a commercial model, and lastly, continuous optimization. With ongoing data analytics, robotic solutions can actually be reordering your inventory on the fly, such that the faster moving objects are kept nearer to the packing area and the slower moving ones are kept further away. With that, we've come to the end of our demo today. Thank you, and we hope to see you in person in the DHL Asia Pacific Innovation Center soon.
Thank you, Chuan. Okay, so that's all we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed our very short, very sharp tour of our Asia Pacific Innovation Center. I want to leave you with just one question, and that is, while this is a great demonstration, physical demonstration of digitalization in the warehouse environment, what's a way that you could see these technologies working together for your business? If you want to get in touch with us, please do. You can reach us on apic@dhl.com. That is apic@dhl.com. Over to you, TC.
Thank you, Ellie, for the great session. As you can see, innovation is very much a part of our DNA because it impacts our future and your future. We'd love you to be a part of this exciting journey. See you soon in the Innovation Center.